What's up YouTube? Griever here, and this is the second one of my Zombiestrike review videos. Okay, this one came to me from my good buddy Clowny, and it is the Zombiestrike Vortex Fusefire. Now, before I get into the blaster, I have to showcase how this was sent to me. This went through the U.S. Postal Mail. Yes, Zombie box for Zombiestrike. Thank you, Clowny. Okay, on to the blaster now. I'm going to start off by saying this, and please do not get discouraged by it. I normally do not like Vortex blasters. I've not been a fan of them. I've not found one that I really like. That being said, this is kind of fun and cool. Not my cup of tea, but I still liked it. Played around with it for a little while, and I'm going to go over the aesthetics, how it actually fires, and all that stuff. I will not be doing internals on this because of a few reasons. One, there are electronics in this because this is a light-up blaster. C, the only thing that you can ever really do with a Vortex blaster is to tweak the torsion springs, and I've not been a fan of doing that. 95, these things are notoriously pains in the asses to take apart and reassemble, so I am definitely not doing that. This is going to remain stock until either I sell it or it breaks or whatever. Okay, so going on to the aesthetics of the blaster. I'm actually liking this color scheme with the more orange and black more so than this one where it's the green with the minimalist orange. Just because it seems like it's more in tune with the Hammer Shot, which is by far my favorite of the Zombiestrike line. That being said, it is heavy. It is a heavy blaster. I mean, this is pretty much twice as long as it, and this one definitely has more girth to it. You can also tell it is much wider because it has to fire darts. It's actually almost twice as wide as the Crossfire, so you got to figure this is most probably the width of a rough cut in pistol form. So there are some downsides to that. But that being said, this is still kind of a fun thing to use. You get an ammo holder right on the front of 5 discs, which would have been great on the Proton. So there's an upgrade on that. Now, when I first got this and playing around with it, I was trying to figure out for the longest time, because it really doesn't come with instructions like most of the Zombiestrike line does, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I work this? How does it fire? What you do is you pull on the back here to load one of the discs and let it go, and it loads it. But it's like, alright, well, I'm looking, I'm figuring, oh, it's like the Proton. How does it load? There's this little slot back here that you actually just shove the discs in. Now, I originally thought this was a single fire where you pull a disc out of the front, stick it in, pull it back, arm it, and fire. No, I was wrong. Because if it did do that, I would really, really hate this blaster. And the only reason I also sort of kind of like it, because this improves upon the idea of the Vigilon, which is, this has an inline clip. Yes, an inline clip. You load the discs into that back slot, and they just keep going straight. And to prime it, you just pull these back. It loads the disc, you fire it, and you pull it back, and you're ready to fire again. So that's actually cool. So if you have 5 discs here, you can put another 5 here, so you'd actually have pretty much 10 shots ready to go. And as you saw before also, yes, this does light up because those discs that I loaded are glow discs. Because this has, I guess, I don't know if they're still calling it or not, but it has the Firefly tech thing in it. So you can like load the discs, get them all nice and glowy, and then fire them off at zombies to scare them. You know, ooh, watch out, radioactive flying discs. I don't know. But that being said, which is, again, a cool concept in and of itself. Oh, here, firing demonstration. So you pull back, it loads the disc, fire, and then you can just do that again for the rest of them. Okay, so that being said, this is probably going to be the obviously quicker of the two reviews because I'm not going to be doing an internal, so I'm going to go straight into final thoughts. This is fun to play around with. Like, I can use this like around home or something, or just goofing off, or at an office war or something. But for practical use, I don't think this would work in an NIC setting or even an HVC setting. Definitely not an NIC setting because almost no one in an NIC war uses a Vortex Blaster. And if you do, it's usually for a lulz round or something like that. And, feature I just saw. The top, since it has the opening for the glows, you can actually see your discs loaded in there. So you can tell if you have any shots left. Okay, so that's a plus on it. But the downsides are still pretty hefty. One being the weight. This thing it's heavy. I mean, it's fairly well balanced. I mean, anything is always going to fall if you put it with the bed. Anything like that is going to fall just because of where you're trying to hold it. So I don't use that as a reference. But the one thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's very hefty for a pistol. Like, this thing is pistol weight. This would be crossbow weight. The other thing is its width. Like, you'd have to make a massive custom holster to hold this. Not only that, if you're using this, you're gonna. I would absolutely recommend, if you're using this, just load out on Vortex, because you'd have to carry two types of ammo if you're gonna use this as a sidearm and use this or an Alpha Trooper or a Rough Cut or whatever. If you're using something that has darts, you're not going to want a disc sidearm. You'd be carrying way too much ammo than needed. On the plus side, though, when it is loaded, this actually does fire off pretty quick. So I have to give it due where it's due. This retails normally for $20 at Target. I got this on a Super Clowny discount, and I'm not telling you what it is. But, I mean, if you like the Vortex line, I would recommend this over a Vigilon any day, just because I've played around with a Vigilon. I've never really cared for it. Like I said, I'm not a proponent of Vortex, but if you are looking for Vortex, better than a Proton, better than a Vigilon. The Praxis and Paragons and even the Ravonics, probably a much better thing for massive capacity. But if you're looking for a good Vortex sidearm, I would take this bar none over any of your other options. There is another single fire Zombiestrike Vortex Blaster. I forgot what it's called. It's like called a Snapshot or whatever the hell it is. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not worth the money. That thing retails $8. It's a single shot Vortex Blaster that fires extremely weird. Don't waste your money. If you're going to spend it on something, if you're going to spend $8 on a small blaster like that, my recommendation would be spend a couple extra bucks and just get a knife, not a knife, rather a Fire Strike. But if you're going to look for like one of the little pocket blasters, get a Triad. Alright? But that's it for this video. I know this went a little quicker, so mainly because I didn't do the internals, but please let me know what you thought in the comments. If you like this video, as always, please like and subscribe to me. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Later.